Don Lemon gets hired by Elon Musk, ostensibly because Elon Musk wants to show that this isn't just like a right-wing fascist platform for Tucker Carlson to do video. I'm going to hire, somebody who's not even white.
We have woke guys here too.
We have a woke. It's a woke
company. Let's just be clear too about Don Lemon and why he got to this position and what has been so almost just remarkable about these past few months for him. He was fired from CNN, and he had a multi-million-dollar settlement, by the way, because I guess his contract wasn't over, for making a few different comments, but most notably where he spoke about female politicians and their kind of prime in the political world in association with their reproductive prime, which made very little sense. So he was conflating how many eggs you've got left with your political career. So it made no sense. He was kind of ousted, then got picked up by Elon Musk, and there was some deal that they made.
Well, here's what went with the,
but he's back on CNN promoting this now, so he's he's recovered already.
Here's the thing that I find really offensive about Elon Musk hiring. It's basically Elon Musk was pursuing this DEI agenda where he wanted to show that he was going to have diversity and inclusion on Twitter, and that it wasn't just for white rich fascists, that it could be for other rich people as well who would be, presented on the Twitter network of video. Mm-hmm. And so they went into negotiations, he and Don Lemon's crew, and apparently Don Lemon has some very, very particular requests when he asked for a contract. Like he wanted a free, a Tesla truck and, a Vegas, jaunt for him and his fiance with maybe a private jet, something like that. I don't know.
Taste this.
I mean, look, if you're going to get the terms, you're going to get the terms. And here's what happens. And this happens all the time in these type of industries. I don't know in others, but in showbiz, business affairs gets the contracts, it's hammered out, but they haven't moved the paper yet, or it's, the contract's there in principle. So it's we got to get this going, move ahead. And so they obviously scheduled a big premiere interview between Lemon and Elon Musk, knowing that we've come to basic terms. We did a term sheet. They just got to hammer out some of the specifics, and we'll figure that out because we're new to this, says Twitter. We haven't done these type of big contracts. And so Don Lemon sits down with Elon Musk, and here is the interview that they did a couple of weeks ago, back when they both thought that Don Lemon was going to be working, doing a show on the Twitter platform.
So you said if they kill the company, it's them, but doesn't the buck stop with you? I mean, you're on it.
I have to say,
Wait, can we pause it for a sec to give this context? Because he's referring to what Elon said about advertisers, which he had Aaron Ross Sorkin, the CNBC guy, I forget who he was speaking to, Andrew, at that conference, essentially, where it was this notorious meltdown where he said that if the advertisers leave Twitter because of all the anti-Semitic and racist content that Elon's allowing advertisers to put their content next to, that it will be them who killed Twitter, and the world will know, civilization will understand.
So you said if they kill the company, it's them, but doesn't the buck stop with you? I mean, you're on it.
I have to say, choose your question carefully. There's 5 minutes left.
Okay, but so
is this the question you want to ask?
The same question is you said that they're killing the company.
I just want to I want that to marinate a little bit, because I can't wait to be in a situation where I can say that, and I'm not even sure where it'll be, but I think it's going to be probably end up being with my kids. choose your question carefully because I have 5 minutes.
There's plenty of time to answer a question.
I
in 5
know.
minutes.
I know. And he could have made it up. He could have said we have less time, but no. I mean, you could have given a long-winded
I
answer
feel
there.
like you could get 2 more questions.
Yeah,
after
you get
that
at
one,
least
too.
2 in there.
In fact, I think Don tries here.
Don, I'm trying to say this in a way that's not going to reveal exactly how seethingly angry I am.
I have to say, choose your question carefully. There's 5 minutes left.
Okay, but so
Is this the question you want to ask?
The same question is you said that they are killing the company, but you're the head of the company. The buck doesn't stop with you.
I acquired X in order to preserve freedom of speech in America, the First Amendment.
Pause it for 1 second.
And I'm gonna
Now, just to be clear,
You're a big dummy if you
the,
think
the
that.
First Amendment is has to do with government interactions with other entities. But if you think it is about free speech, why have you repeatedly banned people, A, for just offenses towards you, which is really not so much free speechy, but also they still ban people. Right?
Yeah.
All the time.
They have terms and conditions all the time.
I mean, free speech also would mean that if there is a competitive platform like Substack or something like that that has their own posts, that you wouldn't say shadow ban links to those kinds of websites in order to further the discussion of ideas, even if it's not necessarily on your specific platform. Or, you would actually have a conversation with a journalist who isn't about to be on your payroll. Like Don Lemon, you would speak to more reporters and answer their questions.
There's a guy, Stone Toss, I believe his name, who was exposed as being a Nazi cartoonist, it looks like here. And Elon has been banning people left and right.
And let's also say that, like, if this story about him buying Twitter to restore free speech in America was true, and it wasn't about making a successful company, which I think that, like, I can't think of a better use of being a billionaire than not caring about whether a company is going to achieve money, but rather, I just want to control everything because I'm a billionaire. That makes some sense. If that was the case, he wouldn't have tried to get out of the deal when he found out like he hadn't done due diligence on the actual numbers.
And I think this is important for how Elon is idolized. Like, he didn't take money out of his savings to buy Twitter. He got money from banks and the Saudis.
Oh, yeah,
the Saudis
awesome.
gave him a giant investment so that he could help protect free speech on Twitter.
I'm sure that was.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Of freedom of speech in America, the First Amendment. And I'm going to stick to that. And if that means making less money, so be it.
So be it then.
So I have to be, listen, I'm just being honest, right? I'm not trying to, get you or anything. I was just surprised that you would blame other people for killing the company. I mean, when you say the buck stops with the President of the United States, regardless of what happens, right? So, why would that question upset you? You seem upset by it, are you?
I think you.
And I'm not trying to upset you.
Well, you are upsetting me because the way you're phrasing the questions, I think, is not cogent.
Beta.
It's not what?
Not cogent.
Cogent.
Yes.
Go ahead.
If given a choice where an advertiser is saying like you have to censor all this content on the platform, irrespective of whether advertising appears, then our answer will be like, look, you can choose where you want your advertising, what you want your advertising to appear next to, but you can't insist on censorship of the entire platform. And if you insist on censorship of the entire platform, even where your advertising doesn't appear, then obviously we will not want them as an advertiser.
So what would you say to advertisers?
Pause it. I just want to explain how, I want to make explain to people who don't understand cogency when they hear it what Elon was explaining. He's saying that it's one thing to say, I don't want, as you look at your scroll, for my ad to show up next to a post that says, let's put all Jews in the oven.
Or Jews
something like
are
that.
contributing to the degradation of Western civilization. And for instance, the leader of the website says, exactly right.
Right. You don't want to be selling, whatever it is, like your Hertz rent-a-car or your trip to Disney after that. But what he's arguing is, if your ad comes 5 posts later, then you don't have a right to complain about that.
Yeah.
That's what
not
he's
how
saying.
that works,
That's
buddy.
Literally,
I
you're
know.
trying to be censorious. Listen, no one perceives Twitter as single individual posts. In fact, Twitter is very much unlike Facebook or Instagram in that way, in that there is no home page where people regularly go. You can dig down, but like, this is like a stream of feeds. Like, to the extent that like Instagram is like this or Facebook is like this is like they're trying to look like Twitter.
Advertisers can say, okay, fine, but you actually haven't done enough to make me want to continue ad spending on it.
Well,
Even though I don't appear right in the replies to the sort of great replacement theory tweets, I'm still on the thread, and the noticeable uptick of that is actually, and also like people just aren't using.
And here's the other thing, is that like, if Elon Musk actually believed this, he wouldn't be so sensitive to critiques of him that are just floating around on Twitter. He would only be sensitive to critiques that might be in his replies.
Well, and then the fact that he's replying to the great replacement theory stuff, and the fact that we know that he is artificially inflating his account to be at the top of the For You page, could you make some sort of legal case that this is not like necessarily just advertisers that are buying into the platform on a post-by-post basis, but if he's endorsing it as well, like he's putting that kind of content to the top of people's feeds. What's also different about Twitter and like social media in general, and why you can't say that this is about free speech in any way, is that like if you're going to keep commodifying people's posts, like in social media, the users are also generating the product and consuming it at the same time. And so you can't make the same argument that you were going to make before. But yeah, he's big mad. I liked when Don Lemon said, I didn't mean to upset you. I deployed that with Tim Pool, and that's what got him super mad when I said that. So well done.
Want them as an advertiser.
So what would you say to advertisers who have left the platform or who are considering coming back or not coming back? What would you like to say to them?
Well, first of all, almost all of our advertisers are coming back to the platform. So it's a very short list of
your fault
advertisers who are not coming back to the platform.
if it dies. I mean, this is amazing. Like, he's gone from, I don't care if they kill it. I'm not, killing it doesn't involve revenue. I don't care about that. Actually, no, they're back, and they were never offended or trying to censor anything anyways. So I don't know what you're talking about, Don. Go ahead.
And then soon he'll nearly cry.
So it's a very short list of advertisers who are not coming back to the platform. And
a dollar amount.
Our advertising revenue is rising rapidly. And our subscription revenue is rising rapidly, and I feel very optimistic about the future of the X platform.
Okay. Listen, I'm honestly, I'm not meaning to offend you. You're an intense person. Where does that intensity come from?
I was born that way. And I had a tough childhood.
You did?
So, yeah.
How so?
An opulent, tough child.
Walter Isaacson goes into it in the book, and we only have a couple minutes left, so
All right.
too long to describe. So there are one or two questions I can do, and then we'll have to call it.
Could we just pause
Okay,
it? I think people heard about this interview and got the impression that this was a very short interview. I watched this whole thing; it was an hour long. So this is after quite a while of, I think, frankly, worthless blather. But it's interesting that he got so mad at the end of it.
What is the rest of the interview like? It's just sort of just.
it's scatterbrained, to be honest. I don't think Lemon does a great job because it's like all of a sudden we're talking about the Tesla and then we're talking about replacement theory. It's kind of all over the place, I think, a little bit. But this is pretty good.
I mean, Elon really struggled. I mean, his father was an emerald miner, right? He really
Not a
just had a
miner.
tough.
I mean, he had a stake in an emerald.
No, sorry. Yes, he had the stake in emerald mining. Was immensely wealthy growing up. Part owner of a Zambian emerald.
I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't like some horrible abuse he suffered, because you don't come out this way without some sort of like inciting incident.
Well, that's true. His father publicly does hate him, but like I don't want. I forgive me if I don't buy into the billionaire crying about how hard his childhood.
It's all in the Walter Isaacson book.
Right.
Is that out yet? It's going to be interesting to read that sort of thing. How much Walter Isaacson is willing to either burn Elon or burn his own credibility, laundering Elon's reputation.
Yeah. All right, let's just finish this up here.
The one or two questions I can do, and then we'll have to call it.
Okay. Again, I don't mean to upset you. Why are you just...
No, I have a whole room full of people waiting to meet with me.
Okay.
So we're just going over time.
Okay. All right. I
I gotta go
understand.
scroll Twitter.
So
There's a whole
wait.
room of people that love me, even if it's not you, Don.
First of all, there was not a whole room of people waiting for him whatsoever. I doubt it. In fact, when he left this interview, he then, I think it was texted his Don Lemon's representatives or agent and wrote, "Contract is canceled." That is what they wrote. Now, folks, I'm not a lawyer. I went to law school for a year. If you want to argue that there is no contract between you and someone else, and therefore you do not owe them any money because there was never a contract, one of the worst things you can do is to put in paper or type to their representatives, the contract is canceled. Because when you do that,
You're admitting there's a contract.
you are suggesting that something exists, must be canceled. And if that something exists, then there is an understanding that it exists. Like, meeting of the minds is one of the fundamental principles about contract law. It's quite possible they'll get away with it because nothing was signed, but clearly they had an agreement. Otherwise, it wouldn't be canceled. You could say, I'm not going forward with a contract. Or you could say, like, hey, I know we were talking about a deal, but I don't want to make that deal.
Right.
You could say, we're not going to close the contract. We're not gonna execute the contract. But when you say the contract is canceled, you can't cancel something that doesn't exist. So this genius businessman is probably going to have to pay out Don Lemon at least something.
Oh, yeah.
To make him go away. And Don Lemon now, like you say, back on CNN. I don't think he's been rehired, but it wouldn't shock me.
Hey, you weird end wokeness, like natalist freaks. This is your king? This soft as baby shit motherfucker over here who's crying about his childhood when...
Excuse me, Don. Why aren't we talking about prime ages of reproductive fertility?
Yes, about how my sperm is very, very important and more important than yours, and I need to spread across the world. Yeah, he really is pathetic and fragile, and it's fun to see. It's fun to see. And much like Trump, they really are very similar people. Both weird personality disorders and fathers that treated them poorly but gave them immense riches, and then they're just constantly trying to prove to the world that they're competent. Just because Elon Musk has like kind of a tech veneer as opposed to being spray painted orange and gold doesn't make him any less of a clown.
A good question that I would like to see Elon asked by a journalist is, Texas has this new pornography sort of registration system where you have to register and find your age with the state. Twitter, you cannot post something without getting a reply that says pussy in bio advertising pornography. Why is Texas going to give Twitter a pass? Because they are going to. You know Texas is not going to get in Twitter's face about the pornography on their website. And that's going to be just blatant corruption.
I went through a period last year where it was like constantly, almost every single reply to me was somebody inviting you over to their, link in the bio or whatever it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now that's gone away completely.
Oh, really? Not
Yeah.
for.
No, it's weird.
No, it's the most
worse
amount
now.
of
And you know what it
bots.
was always like?
Yeah.
It was always she seeing me and Ronald Reagan. And I would just like, I would send him like, dude, what's going on here?
I think that might have been a prank from Ronald Reagan.
No. And like when it was around the time, like when I was like, I would get all these like replies to something that like Greenwald and I had fought about. This is like maybe 2 years ago or something. And then,
Well,
and just coincident, that's how I met my next wife.
funny. But yeah, I've gotten way more bots since Elon took over. I've also my engagement has probably dropped off like, I don't know, 90% ever since the Tim Pool
I
debate.
have not posted, I think, in probably, I don't know, a month
Yeah.
or two. Like I've been thinking about getting back into it, but I just,
It's not worth it. It's really just there because like it fuels my obsession with what's happening in Gaza. But it is remarkable how terrible the platform is now.